Trible of the Courier-Post, talk some high school softball. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Sully.
Whoa, you sound like an alien in these headphones.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, Henning's trying to work some audio for their locker room, and he confiscated my headphones, so now I got the backup headset on.
I mean, you got to get your top talent. You got to let them have their top equipment. That's what I think.
That's
so I don't agree with that.
You know, producer comes in, starts throwing his weight around. You gotta do what you gotta do and make it through the end of the show here.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's on tap for your weekend, buddy? Now that the high school softball season's over, you gonna take a little breather?
I'll take a breather this evening when I get back from Tom's River. I got to head down and
you cover some baseball?
Yeah, Gloucester Catholic in the non-public B state championship. So that'll be good. I'm looking forward to seeing the Rams play. I saw St. Augustine play the other day against Bishop Eustace. Obviously, as you mentioned, they're in the championship today, too. So, I think it'll be a good day for South Jersey, maybe get a couple winners.
You got to see your old buddy Kevin Minnick down there.
I am going to see Kevin. I call him all from time to time now and try to figure out when I got to do something on baseball, what's going on. And he's an encyclopedia, man. He can tell you exactly what you need to know, exactly when you need to know it. He's one of the best in the biz. Hey,
maybe a little Saturday night, maybe a little seaside run after the championship games.
It's looking. I'm looking into the tea leaves right now, so and
it's a possibility.
It's looking unlikely, man.
Oh.
I think I'm going to hike it back. That's not a drive I really enjoy doing. And then when it gets dark out, the Jersey Devil, the Pinelands. I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
True.
So I don't know.
So let's talk some high school softball. Obviously, we talked earlier in the show about Elizabeth Alisea from Egg Harbor Township, and just what a great job she did while going through a very difficult time personally. Her mother passed away on Thursday, just a few days after they won the championship game for Group 4. And I know you spent a little bit of time around that team, Egg Harbor Township, and just give me some of your thoughts on that situation and how that team was able to rally around her. And really the thing that struck me was how she was able to contribute so much while going through so much personally. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do for a 16-year-old kid to be able to get on the field and focus and produce for your team when you have so much tough stuff going on at home.
I think it's easy for us, Sully, as people involved in sports, and especially people who comment on it, to give the flippant response that when things like this happen, kids want to play or kids want to practice or kids want to be with their teammates because it gives them an escape in a way, and sometimes that might be the case. But the thing that stands out to me about the way Egg Harbor Township was able to make their run was it wasn't escapism for that young lady. What it was is it was a team coming together. They wore the ribbons on the arm. All of them during the game, or ribbons in their hair. I mean, it was a united stand, a united effort here for a teammate. And sometimes you'll find players or kids who don't want to address the elephant in the room, no matter how big it is.
Right.
And the fact that they kind of integrated that into their season, it was very special. It was very special. Obviously, it's something that she'll remember for the rest of her life, and it was something that I'm sure brought her great comfort during the season as well. So for them to make the run that they did would have been spectacular no matter what the circumstance. But the fact that they kind of kept that as their, I don't want to say their driving force, but in a way it kind of was. I thought it was remarkable.
And what a tremendous job they did in the playoffs. I mean, you and I were in the dugout there for that championship game and against North Hunterdon. And, around the fifth inning, we were talking, and does EHC have one more magical run in him? Because it didn't look like at that point. I mean, Maggie Swan for North Hunterdon was really just slicing through that lineup. They couldn't get anything going offensively, and you're thinking somebody has to come through with some kind of base hit, and it turned out to be Tori Zram, and I was just floored by the way she handled herself during this whole playoff run. I mean, she was the only pitcher for that team, and basically threw every pitch for the playoffs, and to be an offensive threat as well when she's having all that energy sapped from having to throw all those pitches inside the circle. To be able to come in through in the sixth inning and get that rally started was just tremendous.
Yeah, and let's go back to that state championship, and we're sitting there. I think we're both kind of talking about it. Okay, you get to that fifth inning. Now, let's remember last year they didn't score when they were in the state championship. So now you're running on, basically you're in your 12th inning of being shut out in the state championship, which, say what you will, it's a different scene. It's a different atmosphere. That first run can make such a big difference there up at Keene. And even Schramm said it afterwards. That, people might not want to say it, but there was a tiny bit of doubt there, like that we weren't going to do it. And she started off with the single. Ella Glenn then has this bloop that I guess it hit on the edge of the turf or the grass, or maybe it just hit the turf, but takes a 90-degree right angle bounce. It ends up, going for a triple, scoring Schramm. The next play is the squeeze play. The ball's thrown away, and the next thing you know, that's all it would need. It's 2-1. So I thought it was spectacular that they were able to put together that run the way that they did. Kind of sums up the way they played all season. They found a way, and have continued to find ways. Schramm was unbelievable, man. Like you said, pitching wise, we always talk about she's not really a strikeout pitcher. But in the first inning, she gives up a leadoff triple. She loads the bases. She gives up a run. She hits another batter. The bases are loaded again. She got a couple strikeouts. I mean, she got them when she needed them, right? My hat's off to her. Absolutely, it was a fine season for Egg Harbor Township, and now we start thinking about, well, what can they do next year?
I don't know. Going 48-2 over a 2-year span is pretty good. I don't know how you top that. Well,
this is the question that we must face. So I'll say this on a lighter note. It's the fifth inning. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at you. I don't know if you saw me, but I'm thinking, I hope they get a hit because we're in this dugout. I really hope they don't try to put one of us in the game.
I was ready.
I think I could probably maybe bunt for a single. But you, man, I don't know. I see some big cuts. I think they could have got you on the old change up. You're swinging out of your shoes.
Oh yeah, they would have got me on the drop ball for sure. Talking with Mark Trible of the Courier-Post, and Mark, I got to pat myself on the back here a little bit. I remember mentioning to you in the first couple innings, I said, hey, at some point in this game, they're going to need a big hit out of either Ella Glenn or Marissa Varela, and those are the two that came through.
Yeah, and that core of the lineup right there, Schramm, Glenn, Varela, just steady. I liked how Egg Harbor Township played so well defensively, and they all could hit. But you get to that certain level where you've got to have a handful of standouts who can hit anybody, and that's what they had there. Ella Glenn, tremendous story too. And like you informed me, she's the valedictorian, very smart, intelligent, articulate, excellent to talk with. And Varela, very, very, another great girl. Schramm the same way. EHT really had a very nice mix and a nice blend, and it was a joy to be around. I mean, you were around it much more than I was, but as you know, I mean, it was a joy to be around.
Yeah, really great group of kids, and they really had some tremendous chemistry this year. Great senior leadership. They had some younger players step up in the playoffs, in pinch running roles and that kind of thing. So they kind of got everything they needed. Much like last year, they just weren't able to finish it off last year, but this year they they were able to find, I don't know how they did it, but they found a way to scratch across 2 runs there and beat North Hunterdon, which was a very good team.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they did it either, but I'll say this too, not to make light of the situation, but they went on, they lost in the tournament of champions, which is kind of a different deal anyway. And,
right.
You go up to Seton Hall, and that I don't know if I like that idea of the tournament of champions. I never have covered a sport where it's been involved until now, and to me, it kind of like diminishes that feeling that you won the state championship because you're in your season with a loss.
Yeah.
Like you're one of the 6 best teams in the state. Only one of them is going to win it all. Like, do we really need to know which of those 6 is the best team in the state? Because then 5 teams end up going home kind of with walking off the field for the last time with a sour taste in their mouth, when in reality, they were the state champion. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah, it's
maybe
great.
Whoever's replacing Steve Timko's shoes, he'll step down at the end of this year as executive director of the NJSIAA. Maybe whoever that is, I don't know if you put your application in yet or not, Sully, but if it's you, maybe you could change that around.
Well, we'll give it a shot. We'll put some we'll put some pressure on him.
Yeah, put some elbow grease in there.
Mark, great stuff as always, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, buddy, and have fun up there at Toms River.
Hey, you too, Sully. We'll talk soon, man.
All right, bud. Thanks, man.
See ya.
That was Mark Trible of the Courier-Post.